This is Oompa Bank. Oompa Bank has a series of services for the app, which is can't miss it. That's US Bank on 203 East 3rd Avenue, Mose Lake, 509-754-2431. US Bank at 116 South Main Street, Warden, Washington, 509-765-3405. And US Bank at 12 Basin Street Northwest, Alfredo, Washington, 509-349-2381. And don't forget Stewart Security Title and Escrow at 117 East 4th Avenue, Mose Lake, Washington, 509-764-7400. Now, Taylor Notary Services is 423 Basin Street Northwest, Alfredo, Washington, 509-754-4471. Now, 323 South Division Street is Moses Lake, Washington. That 509-754-2445. In Moses Lake, Washington. That's Chase Bank, 323 South Division Street. Now, this is 1105 Basin Street, Northwest Alfredo, Washington, is gone postal. It's 509-754-1314. 509-754, and this is 101. This is on Division and 4th. And this is Public Services. Now, any driver will know on a CDL test for the trucking, for testing for the CDL, and also your driver's license. Especially when you're renewing your driver's license, you have 150 questionnaires. Whenever the motor vehicle is on a highway, illegal to either drink or possess open containers of alcohol in a passenger compartment. It is legal to drink alcoholic beverage while in a motor vehicle on a highway. Even also illegal for a person in a vehicle on the highway to possess alcohol beverage container that has open or unsealed, or from which any contents have been removed. Open alcohol containers may be in a vehicle or on a highway unless the area is not normally occupied by a driver or passenger. The driver should be an extra alert for motorcycle, bicyclists, and pedestrians because they are difficult to see in traffic. In many collisions, motorcycles, bicycles, pedestrians, drivers reports that they are looking but still not to see some smaller vehicles and pedestrians that can move in difficult spots. Traffic to passengers and vehicles, because of the smaller, may move faster and less noticeable lightning. To prevent collision in these similarly less protected road users, drivers should always be alert in presence of motorcyclists, bikes, and pedestrians. When driving in high speeds, always allow enough room safety to stop emergencies by staying at least 4 seconds behind the vehicle in front of you. If you're driving the speed of 30 miles an hour or slower, following time 2 or 3 seconds may be enough to stop safely in the case of an emergency. However, the higher speeds is best maintained 4 seconds follow time. Anytime you want to merge with other traffic, you should allow a gap of about 4 seconds. Anytime you want to merge into the traffic, you need to gap about 4 seconds. Move into the middle of 4 second gap. Both the vehicles behind you have about 2 seconds of follow distance. Need the 4 second gap, however, changes the lanes into a roadway and when lane merges with another travel lane. At a school crossing sign, you should watch the children be ready to stop. You must always be yielding. Pedestrians are about to enter crosswalk, but alert to pedestrians when driving across intersections or turning. At an intersection, your yield sign, you should slow down and yield the right of way to other traffic. Yield signs means that you must slow down and yield right of way in traffic intersection of roadway you're entering. Before you change directions, you must keep turn signals for at least 100 feet. Before changing direction, you should signal at least 100 feet. By law, your vehicle headlights must be turned on for 30 minutes after sunset until 30 minutes before sunrise. By law, the vehicle headlight must be turned on from half an hour after sunset until a half hour before sunrise. And transit vehicles signaling re-entered the main roadway. Following a stop, you must yield. You must yield any transit vehicle that signal or pull back onto main roadway. After the stop, a load-side passenger changes lanes, slow down, and stop to allow the bus to safely re-enter its traffic. In the cause of jury, in case of any cases of injury, death, $1,000 or more damage of any person, property, may report accident law enforcement official within an accident. 4 days if the collision results in injury, death of $1,000 or more damage of any person, property report made. Law enforcement officer may complete a collision report for within 4 days of the accident. If you operate motor vehicle registration while state, you must have a liability insurance, carry ID card, carrying have insurance, and operate motor vehicle register state and have liability insurance and carry a proof of what surrenders. If you refuse to take determining the blood alcohol content BAC or lose your driver's license, at least 1 year. Washington State has employed consent law, which means that operating motor vehicle in the state have been non-consent breath test determined that the alcohol content BAC will lose license at least 1 year and refuse to take such of a test. If you're stopped along the roadside at night, turn your emergency flashers, leave your low beams turned on. You stop along the four-road night, turn on your emergency flashers, leave the low beams headlight turned on. Be sure that your road users will be able to clearly see your vehicle. In Washington State, above age 21, legal drunk and blood alcohol contact BAC is above 0.08%. Age legal drunk alcohol BAC is 0.08%. You could be arrested driving BAC at 0.0% or higher. However, if you are under the legal drink age 21, you can be arrested with the BAC 0.02% or higher. If you're driving slowly moving vehicle in a passing zone or road, 2 lanes traveling the opposite direction, you should be pulled over and let others pass it. 5 or more vehicles from the line behind and unsafe from them to pass. If you're driving a slow vehicle in 2 lanes road, whether unsafe to pass 5 or more vehicles, you're in line behind, you must pull over and stop and let them pass if it is safe for you to do so. On the roadside, there are 3 more lanes must stop the school bus with flashing red lights. Only if you're traveling in the same direction as the bus. In general, most for the school bus that flashing its red lights, whether your side or opposite side of the road. However, you are required to stop. Bus is traveling in the opposite direction. The road has 3 or more marked traffic lanes or are divided by a median physical barrier. The maximum speed limit in streets, cities, towns, unless posted, is 25 miles an hour. Unless authorized, posted speed limits in cities and towns are 25 miles an hour. To be parked legally on a street, vehicle must be within 12 inches of the curb. To park at street, prohibited park more than 12 inches from the curb. To turn right in an intersection with the steady red light, you should stop, signal, turn, and then safe, no sign prohibits us to turn. In the steady red light, you may turn right provided posted sign prohibits it. You must come to a full stop. Always use the turn signals before making any turn. When driving on a road, at least 2 lanes travel opposite directions. Use the right lane except when you legally passing another vehicle. On the road, 2 lanes travel opposite direction. You must drive the right side of the road except when you're illegally passing another vehicle. When parking uphill next to curb, set parks and turn the steering wheel away from the curb. When parking uphill next to the curb, turn your steering wheel away from the curb. When parking facing uphill on a street has a curve, set your parking brake, turn your steering wheel from the curve. This way the vehicle starts to roll, the wheel roll into the curve. When driving behind you want to pass, you should slow down and allow room to front of the vehicle to the other driver to complete pass easily. When the driver behind wants to pass, you should slow down and move enough room for the front vehicle and the other drivers complete their pass while they allow them to complete the pass, maneuver in less time and more easily. When two-way roadways are shared centered lane, you can drive in a lane more than 300 feet before turning left. Share center lane may not be used passing of traveling of farther than 300 feet. Drivers should use these lanes safely. Turn left from multi-lane roadway. When you see a school bus traveling opposite side of the two-way roadway, you must stop, and if the red warning lights of the bus is flashing, you must stop. For the school bus has the red lights flashing, whether it is the same as opposite or two-lane road, you are required to stop. The bus is the opposite side of the road that has 3 or more marking traffic lanes, and they're divided by a median or physical barrier. You must dim your beam lights within 500 feet of oncoming vehicles. You must dim your beams, however, 500 feet from oncoming vehicles. It is used legally. Driving while under influence of marijuana is illegal. Even if you're using substance illegal, operating vehicle while influence of marijuana illegal, doing so dangerous because of the substance can distort your perception of space, time, and speed. Marijuana is smoked and consumed by ways of marijuana-infused foods have different risks. Marijuana-infused food can be affected consumers much slower than rate of marijuana that is smoked. Smoked marijuana can damage consumers' lungs. Ingesting marijuana and fuel can negatively affect drivers' ability to operate motor vehicle. A minimum of against laws drivers before the age 21 operate vehicle. They have a THC level that is above per millimeter of blood, 0 nanograms. It is illegal for a driver who has age 21 or older to operate a vehicle with a minimum THC level of 5 nanograms per milliliter of blood. A driver who under age 21 operates a vehicle and a detachable amount of THC in the blood, the use of marijuana while driving is extremely dangerous. The driver above age 21 may operate a vehicle with a minimum of THC level of per milliliter of blood, 5 nanograms. It is legal for a driver at age 21 older to operate minimum of THC level of 5 nanograms per liter of blood. A driver who is under 21 may operate vehicle detectable amount of THC in the blood. The use of marijuana driving can extremely be dangerous. Who is required by law wear a seatbelt while moving vehicle? All occupants in Washington State occupants moving vehicle required by law properly fastening seatbelts. According to occupant protection law, police officers may stop and cite drivers, passengers if are not using seatbelts. If a passenger who is under the age 16 is not wearing a seatbelt, the driver would be fined. Child restraint law requires children under the age of 8 and less than the height to be seated in an improved safety restraint system, 4 feet 9 inches. Washington child restraint requires children under the 8 shortened 4/9 inches fast. Child safety restraint being transported in a motor vehicle. They should be allowed to use a seatbelt until they can safely do so. Under the age of may not mind or ride in front of the seat of a vehicle. United States car crashers number killer young children. Combat the statistics. Washington child restraint law requires children under the age 13 to ride a back seat of a moving vehicle. Texting while driving is illegal. Washington State against law text driving. Text is dangerous distraction from driving, doing while operating vehicle result. Using handheld cell phones make phone calls driving illegal. It is against the Washington State to use a held phone while driving. The law intending encourage hands-free cell phones. The driver must talk to a phone. Recommend they have a roadway. Make phone calls after vehicle is safety stopped. Driving under influence of medication impairs driving under the circumstances. This includes alcohol, prescription medications, or counter medications, or illegal drugs. The solid yellow line, broken yellow, means vehicle. Next to the broken line, bypass, yellow separates lanes, moving opposite direction to the broken yellow line next to drawing lanes. You want to park uphill two-way road, curve, the direction to turn right toward the side of the road. When parking either uphill or downhill road has no curve, you should turn your wheels so the vehicles will roll away from the center of the road if the brakes fail. You're involved in a minor collision intersection and no injuries, and there are very little vehicle damage. You should move your vehicle out of traffic lane if possible. After collision, you have been injured, killed, or you can safely do so, should move your vehicle out of traffic lanes. You're driving in a freeway behind a large truck. You should drive farther behind the truck. Would follow a passenger vehicle. The necessary fall farther behind the large truck. Necessary to follow farther behind a larger truck. You would follow a passenger vehicle because the trucks are large blind spots. You must yield to pedestrian using white cane guide dog. At all times, pedestrians who guide dogs, white canes without red tip, must be given right of way of all times. To see vehicles with blind spots, you should check over your shoulders. By definition, blind spots are areas of seeing or using mirrors to check other blind spots, and you should look over your shoulder. You may or freeway traffic merge into lanes. You should make room for merging traffic if possible. Extra space in front and large truck needed for truck drivers stop the vehicle. Because of the larger trucks larger to stop the cars traveling the same speed, the other drivers should not pull in front of the truck and slow down or stop. When passing another vehicle's safe return lane, you see the vehicle's headlights in a rear view mirror. Returning the original lane after passing, you must be sure not to dangerously close to the vehicle while passing. When you see both the vehicle headlights or rear mirror, you may be enough room to return to the lane. While driving at night, vehicles coming toward has a high beams or making hard for you to see the road ahead of you. Look ahead toward the right edge of the lane. Occurring drivers fail to dim their high beams should avoid looking directly at the highlights and the headlights. Instead of looking toward the right edge of the lane and watch upcoming vehicles out of the mirror of your eye. Should increase distance between the vehicle and vehicle. You're being tailgated by another driver. Being tailgated create an extra space for the vehicle for suddenly slowing down, gradually merging into another lane. Prevent collision with tailgaters. Check your rear mirrors often so how traffic is moving behind you. When driving, do not develop a fixed start. Frequently check or review mirrors so you can know the position of vehicles near you. If your vehicle starts to lose traction because of the water on the road, you should slow down gradually and not apply brakes. Just pump them. When driving the heavy rain speeds 30 miles an hour, tires may lose all contact with roads instead of ride up to a layer of water above surface the road. This is called hydroplaning. If your vehicle starts hydroplaning, slow down gradually and do not apply brakes. If the green arrow in the solid green light may still turn but must yield outgoing traffic. When the green arrow turns, solid green light may still in direction where arrow was pointing but most yielding pedestrians and outgoing traffic. When making right turn on the green light, you must yield to pedestrians unless a posted sign prohibits it. You may turn right, left, or steady green light when turning when you must yield to other vehicles and pedestrians within the intersection. You may cross solid yellow lines while making turns. The general broken traffic lines cross solid lines may not. Solid yellow lines may be crossed only when drivers are marked to turn. When driving the area of children are playing, you should expect to turn out in front of you without looking. You should always reduce the speed, use extra caution when children are in the vicinity. They may fail, understand, and danger and make run out in front of without looking. If you stop the railroad crossing in more than one track, wait to proceeding until you have a clear of all tracks. You stop railroad crossing and then track and do not move as soon as your train passes. Wait until you pass a clear view down the tracks before you start across. And even when there are only one track, do not start across immediately after the train passes. Check again to another train that may be approaching. While backing, you should turn your head and look through the rear window. When descending backward, always check behind your vehicle before getting in. Children and small objects difficult to see from driver's seat while backing, turning your head to see if you can see through the rear window. Do not depend only on your mirror sensors. To help prevent crashes, you should communication with others and road users. Crash often happen with drivers somewhat other not expecting communication with motorists, bicyclists, pedestrians, and doing things like signaling with slowing down and stopping, changing, directing, use emergency signals, horns, and appropriate. If the turn signals and fails to use, indicate you're turning hand signals. Your vehicle turn signals and work should use hand signals, indicate that you intend to change direction. Your brake lights tells your drivers that you are slowing down or stopping. The vehicle brakes light indicate their drivers that you are slowing down or stopping. Your brakes lights should always be working in order to drive in any roadway. If you begin to feel tired or driving, the best thing to do is stop driving. Being fatigued and driving similar danger, driving under influence alcohol. If you being the feel tired while driving, the best thing to do is stop driving. Another driver cuts off a traffic while you lets go. To avoid the passengers to road rage, never take it personally, although another cuts off a traffic should go and continue driving safely. If your brakes are down on the highway, you should use your four-way flashers and warn other drivers. If your brakes down on the highway, you should signal before carefully exiting the roadway. Turn the hazard flashers, go and far off the road possible for the park in the location where the drivers can easily see and lift the hood of the other device, knowing your vehicle is disabled. When facing oncoming car on the left as a bicycle is to the right, you should let the car pass, then pass the bike. And then when more than optional hazard on the road, you should ensure that they only have the deal with the with the thing at the time. For example, when your bicycle is on the right, you want to pass an upcoming car to the left. You should not try to squeeze between both the same. Instead, let oncoming car pass and then pass the bicyclist. When driving on a slick road, you should take turns more slowly than usual. While always dangerous to drive too fast, slippery roads, especially true when driving turns and curves to approach the more slowly and slippery conditions that were under the normal circumstances. When driving slippery roads, you should increase your following distance. Slippery roads to increase the following distance and take more time to stop your vehicle than would under normal conditions. Road freeze quickly when they are shaded. In cold and wet weather, should space care sections and sections on the road that are shaded by trees, buildings. These areas freeze quickly than the rest of the roads, latest parts of the roads. What does alcohol do to driving skills adjust? It harms both driving skills and judgment. Alcohol's negative effect on skills safe driving include reaction time and ability to clarity. Also, the harm of judgment spreads in distance lower inhibits and makes more prone to taking chances. What is the only way to reduce blood and alcohol conspiracy? Allow your blood time to get rid of your alcohol. The only method effective reduces BAC is drink alcohol in period time. Coffee, exercise, and cold showers cannot reach the BAC, but change the effects of alcohol. It can remain awake and cannot change your BAC to make you sober. If you experience a tire blowout, slow down gradually and use your brakes lightly. If you experience blowout, you should slow down gradually and be taking your foot off the accelerator. Do not apply brakes until the vehicle has slowed considerably down. If you find yourself a skid, stay off the brakes. If your vehicle is being skid, do not use your brakes. Braking could break your skid. Raining, you weather should mostly be careful of turn stopping. During the first half hour of rain, you should be extra careful in turning and stopping during the first half hour of rain. And at this point, the oil from the cars are yet watching pavement and could form a slippery mixture with rain.